Good evening, everyone, and welcome to week 3, day 2 of the NLC Summer Split, now live from Twitch, X, and YouTube. Tonight, we'll be playing against Venomcrest, and joining me for this co-stream, we have our beast, Mr. Zath, and our very chaotic Heltic. Sorry, this silly joke always gets me. How are you doing, guys?
Doing good. Heltic, of course, you're going to be on the cast for the second time in a row, and I've been hearing murmurs that you will be joining us every single Wednesday now. So it's going to be fun to talk about League of Legends with you, man.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking over for Sandbag, who has prior commitments, as he said yesterday on the stream on Wednesday. So I'm going to be taking over in the play-by-play role for the next little while anyway. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to cast some more League.
That's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and I am happy to have you on board. Should
We'll give Lisa a second. Some connection issues, but we'll give her a second to come back.
I feel like this is the best explanation of what happened yesterday. It hit 5 minutes, everybody's PCs just turned off, and we just weren't really able to play League of Legends. So, Heltic, if we have to talk about today, of course, Venomcrest, the first place team, joining Ruddy, who beat us yesterday. And we have quite hard competitions, I have to say. If we want to come out for victory, we need to make changes. And Heltic, I believe behind the scenes, they've been doing that, haven't they?
Yeah, I have some little behind the scenes access, so I have been able to see that, like, Dem, like the interview yesterday, you know, was saying that they need to simplify things and try to bring everything back down to earth a little bit, try to go for something a little bit easier to pilot. And I can see that they've even changed their pre-game structure of their how much they're like telling the players to go and play games before the stream, and you know, leave different break timings and everything leading up to this game today. So I'm hoping it gives them just a little bit more of a mindset diff coming into this one, and that they can play. If we can take a win off Venomcrest, that would be really, really good for us. So
it would definitely be amazing. We need another win after everything that is going on. But what can we expect from this game, like knowing that Venomcrest has been doing a little bit better than we have?
Well, Venomcrest has been one of the teams who's been very strong coming into the split, because everybody before this split was happening was thinking there were a couple teams that really at the top of it, and Venomcrest was meant to be sort of middle of the pack, trying to make sure that they could maybe get into playoffs. But now with 4 EMEA master spots, it's almost looking secured for them, so they're going to really try and facilitate their playstyle and get themselves to be one of the best. So if we get a win today, is going to be huge for us. And with those changes you said, Heltic, if we have any chance of doing it, I think it's this week.
Fingers crossed it could be this week. And we're playing with the same patch that we were playing yesterday, 14-11. What could that mean for us if we're thinking that our team needs to be a little bit more down to earth?
Well, I feel like there's a few different champions that are still very strong in the meta. Of course, we have to think about the top lane Skarner, a champion that's been super tanky up there. And last time we allowed the Skarner and its biggest counter Rumble to get given over to Ruddy for free. So I'm hoping that in the draft today we can maybe at least take one of them away or play just a little bit more comfortability. So with the nerfs and picks, I do expect maybe a Hybradge carry coming out from our team and giving ourselves a bit of an out later on into this phase of a game.
You know a little bit more about what's happening like at the back. Could we expect something similar to what Seth's mentioning?
Well, I think we're on blue side today. I did see some mentioning of that in their pre-game discussions. So I think they are strategizing around the side selection a bit more today, trying to potentially, like you said, try to secure that Skarner. I do think Venomcrest are going to be on top of that, though. They know all the teams that we face so far, with the exception of yesterday, have made sure that Skarner is banned, knowing that Theo is that Skarner one trick. So I don't see Venomcrest leaving it open, but if they do and we're able to get that as B1, I think this game could go it could swing in our favor for sure.
What else could we do? Like, of course, we need to be down to earth when it comes to draft, but then when we start the game, what is it that we need to improve?
Well, I feel like it's just everybody linking up a little bit more together, because when I was watching us play, I saw that the support was mostly staying towards the bot side, trying to play for this 2v2, while our jungler was trying to make plays towards mid and towards the top side. So maybe if we wanted to play for the top side, have a more of a defensive bot lane, so you can of course have your support go upwards. I just want to see the team, you know, play together and show truly what this team is capable of, and I feel like they can do it today.
Hopefully, because I feel like we have really good early game, but then sometimes mid game, late game, we just don't know how to finish. How does one move from having a really good early game into a really good mid?
Yeah, mid game, of course, it's very difficult to try
And
and
then
get yourself from trying to get yourself from the early game focus and try and push it through. And it depends on what type of style you want to have, because the big pitfall I felt like Nativz fell in yesterday was we were too late game focused. We had the Veigar, we had the Tristana in the mid lane that did have that push pressure, but except for that, everywhere else was trying to scale into that late game, especially in that Ivan jungle. So if we want to try and get from this early game that we did okay at and really succeed in the mid to late game, is having a champion that can really push us through there. That's why I'm a massive fan of these early game focused junglers, or maybe an early game focused support like a Nautilus or Leona can get stuff kicked off. So when you get later into the game, you can decide the fights, because last time it always felt like Ruddy won the front foot.
That is a fair point. I know that Heltic actually likes supports instead of using champions that are not supposed to be there but are. So in the past 2 games, we had Seraphine and we had Nami. Nami worked really well, Seraphine not that much. What other supports could be a good pick for us today?
I definitely think it kind of depends on what we play towards that mid and top side. You can leave yourself open to be able to take these enchanter supports, and they can be useful, like we see with the Nami and the Seraphine. But when if you're running a lot of what we're seeing in the LCK is just marksmans everywhere. And that leaves even like Ashe support as a potential thing, and then because of the potential of AP jungle as well, you can also run the Rel Nautilus like Zath said as well, which have been super strong and always have been and probably always will be. So there's a lot of options for support role on the current patch because of how the map is and each of the other roles are changing and the types of the champions we're seeing in each role are changing so much lately that I do think support is probably one of the roles that you can just kind of pick anything, and that's what Baul said in his interview with us week 1, that he could really take anything. So let's see. Baul might even bring out some spice. He did say to us on the broadcast that Silas support is something that he really likes, so we'll see.
You mentioned map changes. So now that we're like almost halfway through the year, we've had time enough to understand how those map changes actually affected the game and how much like going for grubs or giving them up, how much like all those new changes affect the game. Can we talk a little bit more about that part?
Well, yeah, completely. So when we think about the Void Grubs, what they've added to the game is given more pressure towards the top laners, as it gives a big objectives before the Rift Howell comes up themselves to try and fight over. And if you get 4 of them, Void Scuttlers of course come in for you, and it just allows these top laners to be these big threats, and that's why you see a Camille ban on your screen and plenty of things like that. Irelia as side laners have really been bumped up a notch, so there's always a playstyle that Nativz could maybe go for if they wanted to with the different map changes. But still, I think bot lane is going to be the most priority and most focused role, as when we see the pick and bans already got that Tristana off.
Yeah, Tristana going to be taken out right away, and as you can see, Skarner first banned by Venomcrest. But we're gonna be taking it back with the Rumble first pick. Conor going to be just straight away Vi picked up by Venomcrest. The big thing to notice as well on native side is taking away those AP jungles, the Maokai and the Ivern, because we've been saying a lot of AP jungle. I wouldn't be surprised to see or with now the Vi coming out, we are going to see that it's not an AP jungle role for Venomcrest. They're going to go with the Vi, Cassante topside as well, just to play into that Rumble. We've seen this matchup already, I believe, on week 1 with Theo into a Cassante as Rumble, so hopefully he's learned since then.
Yep, so Rumble has a very good time into the Cassante if he can keep that range with the E and have the Flame Spitter. But if Cassante gets on you level 6, you are just going to get Cassante with the Fire Help as well. Makes it super difficult to play. But I'm loving the changes from Nativz. Get themselves Rumble early on, give them pressure up towards the top side. And you talked about before, AP junglers. The reason they are so strong is that AD side laners are super strong. You have the Yone, you have the Yasuo, you have plenty of others in the top lane as well, which you love to pick. So if you have an AP jungler coming through, it allows you to pick up those champions. As on the Native side, we'll be picking up that AD carry, and I do expect either their jungler or support to be coming through. I would like the support, mostly because when I think about Baul, he is this engaged focused support. We said he was on enchanters. Give him something he's comfortable in, and this is why a Rel or a Nautilus would be perfect for Nativz here.
Yeah, Nativz definitely taking it back to basics, going for more of a team fight orientated comp. Have the engage with the Rel, have the Rumble being able to drop down his ultimate on top of the fight, Varus in the backline being able to pop some arrows. So definitely from what we heard from them yesterday, this tracks in, like, bringing it back a little bit, taking the difficulty of the composition down just that little bit.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed a lot about both these teams is you usually have this battle of Ashe and Kalista. Either ban away one and then the other one has to ban it or pick it because of how well they counteract each other, but neither of these teams really play it. This is why the Varus has become really high in priority for this team. And something else like the Corki, which is very flexible down towards bot or this mid lane, has huge burst damage early on. Scales not as well as the Varus, but still pretty good pickup for them with the flexibility as we will get to the second ban phase.
And the big thing to notice as well is that, of course, Nativz banning out that Tristana means that they can just go for that Corki mid. Now, he has been nerfed. His E has reduced damage, I believe. So now he's actually, I think, Q max first instead of E max first is the big change there. But with the ban of Tristana, means that Corki's going to be able to come in this mid. So we're going to have to see what that gets paired up against. But then we're going to see the jungle bans coming out. So they do Venomcrest definitely think that this Rumble is top side. So we're going to have to see whether that actually is a flex that ends up in the jungle.
That is 4-5 different bands of junglers in this series. Seems like they do not want to give Venomcrest a comfortable jungler, because I was looking through everything Hybradge likes to play. Likes the Ivan, likes, of course, everything like the Xing Zhao Sejuani. So what's really going to come up in priority? I'm trying to think, maybe a tank jungler like a J4 is still possible. Can try and lock people up and create space for your AD carry, and still with the mid laner being able to get picked up as well. I'm expecting an AP mid as well, as it seems like both teams are kind of lacking in that department.
Yeah, they're going to take away those, the Nativz are going to take away the AP bot laners that have been so powerful on the recent patches. Ziggs and Hui going to be taken out, and we're going to see a Rakan coming in for Simpy. So going to see what that gets paired up with. They're leaving counterpick for that counterpick for that bot lane. They already know what they're up against, so curious to see what they end up pairing with. That could be the Xayah. We haven't seen Xayah in a little while, but she's still pretty strong. And the volley coming out for Hybradge, I believe. I don't think that's a volley top.
No, that's definitely going to be a volley in the jungle. Hybradge doesn't play that Rumble, at least to my knowledge. And this volley bear, of course, very much lower down in priority, but gives you that engage capability and that damage in the early game that the team is needed. And this allows them to open up with an AD mid laner with that Rumble coming through. And when I think about Painful, when he played for Venomcrest last split, he did enjoy that Yone. He did enjoy some of that early game pressure. And that's one thing that Nativz hasn't had a lot of. So, of course, that getting locked in. This is the best draft I've seen from Nativz this whole split so far.
Yeah, the dive potential on this comp as well, on that towards that top side, with the volley being able to disable the towers, having the Yone being able to jump in and pull himself back. So it's going to be the Kai'Sa put it with the Rakan. So
yeah,
Kai'Sa, we've seen a lot of AP Kai'Sa lately, especially I think it was ACK Academy. T1 played against I think it was Gen G, and Smash just destroyed on the Kai'Sa, just never missing AW the entire time and made it implayable for Gen G. So this is definitely a pick that fits into that AP bot laner role, because AP Kai'Sa just never goes away.
Yeah, that was one thing we had to think about, is what AP damage are they going to have on Venomcrest? Yes, Corki deals about half-half, but you still need like a bit more than that. So now with the Kai'Sa, either the on-hit or the AP damage build gives them so much flexibility, as now they've kind of rounded out their comp to either be a super dive comp or go for a more poke-oriented comp where they try and poke you out and then dive you later on, compared to Nativz, who are more of a front-to-back team fight, trying to make sure they find that good engage. And I feel like all we need from Nativz is we've changed routines, we've changed many things about this. I just want to see a change in mindset, because the big thing for a lot of players is after they played so much League for so many years, they kind of get a bit stagnant. They always make the same mistakes, don't really think about the play, and kind of go into autopilot. So hopefully today we'll see a little bit of a change in them and a little bit more exciting, especially with that Yone in the mid lane.
I'm excited to see Yone. I love a little bit of Yone mid. I find that it just spices up the lane, especially because, you know, we're going to have the Corki that has been nerfed now. We'll still have a little bit of push early on in this lane, and we'll be able to poke out the Yone. But once Yone gets on live, I don't see this Corki living very much, especially with the amount of dive potential they have on the native side. So I'm excited. Yone is one of those champs that no matter how much he gets, like, just those like little micro tweaks, he always seems to just pop back up in, you know, pro play and just ends up killing multiple teams. Or it's one of those feast or famine champions as well, where it's like either we're gonna see an amazing Yone game where he goes like 10-0, or it's gonna be the complete opposite. So
I mean, it's just kind of like the Yasuo Yone issue you always have. If they're on my team, they're terrible. If they're on the other team, somehow they are Faker reincarnated. So we'll have to see if Painful will be doing well, and you can't blame him for picking an aggressive champion, because when we think about yesterday, he had the Tristana against the Zed. Wasn't a very fun time. That first kill went over and it felt kind of unplayable. So now with it going to be on the other foot, we'll have to see if Painful can find an early kill and maybe start snowballing as well, and maybe might get our second win of the split.
yeah, and we need it. Every win counts at this point. We're getting into the second half of the build up towards playoffs now, and every win counts if we want to get into those top spots, especially like we were kind of discussing before the stream starts. Now with the EME Masters changing from a 2 teams from NLC format to a 4 teams from NLC, the first 2 going to the main bracket, and the third and fourth now going into the LCQ, into that 32 team gauntlet. Like, we have the opportunity to not only, you know, stay out of, you know, Div 2, out of the relegation zone, but also potentially qualify for the EMEA Masters.
I'm just hearing more League of Legends, and who doesn't love that as a league fan themselves? We will be getting ourselves right into this game. And come on, Nativz, please. We believe in you. You can do it for us, but we'll just have to see to get ourselves right onto the rim.
And like you said, we are on to the Rift for our final game of this week. Of course, against Venomcrest. Like you touched on earlier, Painful going up against his old team. Now gonna see if he can win this one. This one's probably a little personal for him. You know, you always have those games where you see someone switch teams, and then they always just really want to win against their old org. So I'm curious if Painful has that fire lit under him today.
Yeah, I would love to say that it's going to be the old organ, all the players are against him, but the only player left from last spit for Venomcrest is going to be Lenny in that top lane, so he can only type to him saying, hey man, I'm going to destroy you and Venomcrest. Doesn't really pack the same punch, but of course, we're going to have to see how this game goes for him. On that Yone pickup, I do expect Nativz to be heavily focusing around him. With the Volley Bear and with the Rel, I expect plenty of roams up into here, as if they get themselves the first flash early on, it's be really difficult for Fierce to play this.
And we are going to go to a pause immediately. Obviously, someone having some setting issues probably. I didn't see anyone disconnect. I think I saw someone disconnect, or I think I heard the announcer say someone disconnected. So hopefully that shouldn't be too long of an issue. We should get an update very shortly on what the issue is and how long it's going to take. But yeah, nothing too much happening at the start of the laning phase. I didn't even get a chance to look at the runes before we were thrown back to a tech pause.
Well, Heltic, what I'm thinking is, we said that they were having some changes, they were changing ways that they would start this up. Maybe this is part of their plan, you know, throwing off their enemies to get themselves in a perfect position where they have more time to talk about the game plan, to be like, okay, we make a play towards the mid lane at level 2 and we get 200 damage there of 150. Maybe this allows us to get a kill. I don't know, but that sounds something that Nativz would do. So we get ourselves back into the game, as both junglers will be starting towards the bot side, clearly going towards the top side pathing, as with Lenny and Theoloris. This is one of the lanes where Rumble really wants to find the lead early on, and he can really push that throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and we need to see, we've seen Hybradge put a little bit more emphasis towards that top side, and it's something we talked about in the interviews with them as well. So I'm not surprised to see them starting to move up towards that top side, especially because we've seen Theo struggle in this Cassante Rumble matchup the last time. So maybe just a little bit more help from the jungle this time can help him get that lead and scale into that late game.
Should be pretty comfortable in the lane so far, doing a very good job of stacking up these 3 waves, going to push this out. They have an option here to either go for a reset and get themselves into a good position, not use that TP, or instead stay in lane, poke them out more, and make it where if Hybradge comes up, there might be a gank opportunity. But I said mid lane, I said there were going to be ganks early on, and even if Baul doesn't find something here, these are the correct decisions of always constantly looking, seeing if you can find something to help Painful.
Yeah, that big ward in the just at the edge of the river, which I believe was placed by Theo off of Venomcrest, that will spot out Baul on the roam up, so Fierce will know to just move to the top side of the lane. But in the meantime, Space getting chunked out on that bot side, gonna get ignited as well, but will walk away with his life.
Yeah, has got HP pop in mid lane. Fierce in danger.
Hybradge now coming in, gets the dash off. The Yone follow up. Fierce is solo, 1 HP. Painful will walk away with the kill and won't die to the tower either.
Yep, you can ward towards the bot side, but you can't ward the top side as well. So, of course, we are ganking towards the bot lane. Hybradge coming in, flashing forwards, and really smartly giving over that kill to Painful. We said it, we wanted a lead early, and that's exactly what we've gotten. The only thing that is winning for Venomcrest is going to be towards the bot side, that they were able to get the barrier out of space. But Hybradge towards top side, making sure Theoloris isn't going to get ganked, so we don't have a repeat of the last Rumble versus Cassante top lane matchup.
Yeah, and what a great gank timing mid, by the way, by Hybradge. You know, they spotted out that that Baul was roaming up. That gank, or the gank attempt from the support was thwarted. So of course Hybradge knows, no vision on the top side of the river, gonna come in from the top, and they catch him out and getting Painful ahead. Like we said in the lead up to this game, getting the Yone some gold early on is gonna really unlock him in this lane.
He's already used the teleport as well, has those first boots completed. He's gonna be enjoying this mid lane a lot more than he was before, as it's going to be very hard for Corki to try and poke him out, as Painful can really start packing a punch when he goes for those early trades. But Venomcrest have to push in towards the bot lane, can go for the dragon if they want to, but instead will be looking for this bot lane gank. Flash is available on both members of Nativz. It's going to be kind of difficult to do.
No, Theo has been spotted out. Space has the flash available, uses it to get away. The crash down from Baul as well, just to dissuade them from continuing on. Space low on mana, so can't really try to go back into them here, but we'll just try to catch as much of the wave and XP as he can.
Yeah, the wave is still pushing away from them, so Hybradge needs to come down and help them here. But it's just an overstep from Nativz. They needed to just leave the wave as it is, cool down their jungler, and get the support there. That gank was easily seen, but now Hybradge is down here, going to help them clear out this wave, finally find that reset for their AD carry. But for the next 5 minutes, this bot lane is going to be super difficult. As you can see, Venomcrest trying their best to try and freeze this wave, and I think they can do it.
Yeah, Hybradge now having to stay to just make sure that this wave hits, and Theo potentially trying to look for something here. Space is still below 50% HP. The charge coming in from the Vine now. The knock up of the Rakan landing perfectly. It's a great setup for Venomcrest, but Baul with a great crash down. Gotta get the kill back onto the Kaisa, or get the kill back onto the Rakan. Theo gonna be able to get away with the flash charge, but the pullback from Baul is huge, and 2 kills going over to Nativz.
And the big power of this Nativz team early on is the amount of burst damage they have. So poke will be coming out through towards the mid laners. I thought Space should have never been there. He should have just backed off, but they needed to push out this wave. And with the huge damage coming out from him, they find themselves the kill, find themselves a second one afterwards. And now Nativz, with a pretty comfortable 1,000 gold lead to them. They have 300 in the mid lane, 500 in the jungle, as even though Hybradge had to stay down here with his team, so did Theo Kakus, and that player, especially on the fight, needs to find a lead early on.
And in the top side, we can see that Theo just a little bit up in CS, trading for just a wet noodle trading with Lenny. No kill potential for either top laner for the time being. And you can see straight away Lenny as well, building that null magic mantle, just trying to get potentially probably going for those mercs really early on. It's something we see these top laners take into the rumble. Probably going to get that on his next back.
Yeah, should be able to pick that up, but with the priority in towards the towards the mid and top side, it will be the first 3 Void Grubs over towards the side of Native. Good little roam as well from Bulls to make sure that they had priority for this. And now this Rift held in level 6 on Hybradge, I don't see a reason not to try and go for this.
Yeah, Lenny with the all-out over the wall, but Hybradge here to cover up Theoloris, so it will be a kill traded back. Hybradge, right place, right time.
Yeah, really smartly played by Lenny, knowing that the dive was going to be inevitable. He has to go for the 1v1 now. Flash still available for Theoloris, but thinking it was going to be safe, gets killed themselves, still doesn't want to use the Rift Held towards the top lane. They wanted that gold to go into the Rumble to help out that place, but instead now I expect them to maybe make a play towards the mid lane early on to try and place the Rift Held here to give some more gold to Painful.
Yeah, if they can crack open that mid tower as well, it just gives them a little bit more priority on the map. It means that the volley can roam around a little bit easier, so can the rel once they get out of this laning phase. And now looking back towards this bot side space, gonna spot out Theo with the sweeper now clearing out that ward. Gonna turn towards the Drake. Doesn't really have... They do have a little bit of priority in that bot lane with the wave shoving now towards Nativz, so should be able to potentially move up for this. They have the Corki walking down, and they have no vision. Nativz have no vision of this, so they should just go over to Venomcrest.
Yeah, Hybradge has no ultimate available. It's just an awkward time to go for the fight because they used everything towards the top lane. So instead, they will give this up for free. Completely okay, as it is going to be that first dragon. Allow Painful to be able to farm up, but most importantly, allowed Nativz in the bot lane to stay alive and stay comfortable, especially when your AD carry still doesn't have their flash available.
Lenny now caught in bottom river, and you have Theo running over. The stun coming in from Hybradge now. Painful's here as well. He can go over the wall with the ultimate, and it's just Lenny. A complete flip from the last time we seen this top lane matchup for Theo playing very safe and catching out the Cassante.
Yeah, a little bit of over-aggression, thinking that he was safe not having any of the enemy team showing up on the map. But of course, all their vision is towards the top side, so you just need to hide under tower as long as you can do it. But Venomcrest know that there's 2 people top side, can make this play.
Baul now going to use the Magnet Storm to try pull them underneath the tower. Simply solo. Lingard on 1 HP takes a tower shot, but the shield from the Rakan going to keep him alive.
Getting themselves a kill towards the bot lane, and that's a double kill going over to Venomcrest. Still, 1,000 gold lead on the side of Nativz towards the top side, but a very nice play. Static Ship will get completed from this Kai'Sa, and that's really showing the power of this team comp. Once this level 6 hits, Divine the Rakan is like that every team loves to have, as once one goes in, there's just no escape from it, as Space will have that flash available now, but Venomcrest, what a good play.
Yeah, great use of the map positioning. They know that the 3 members of Nativz topside, so they're going to use that timer to get something back on the opposite side of the map. Baul now just going to cover off, trying to look for something towards Fierce, but Simpy is here to stop that. Now we have see some supportal combat, but it probably shouldn't lead to anything.
I was about to say, didn't you see Rel in that bot lane with that Ignite available? Almost killed the AD carry and the support as well. It seems like supportal combat can be a little bit scarier than what you think. But yeah, just both of them trying to make sure their mid laners have priority in this lane, trying to make sure to gain as much vision as possible, as there's no major objectives to play for until the next 3 minutes, which is going to be either the Void Grubs or the Dragons. And with Nativz, I do expect them to maybe go for those Void Grubs, to go for a 1-3-1 format later on, where Painful can be in this side lane and be super strong.
Theo now going all out against Lenny, both so low, but Theo gonna get the better of it. He has his first item completed. It's gonna help him to win out in that top lane. Another solo kill for him. Space now getting chased down by Theo, who has the Vault Breaker available and will be able to catch him.
Yeah, there's just nothing you could do as an AD carry. You just had to wait on that second wave. Israel was towards his mid lane, making sure that Painful was good so they can make the play top lane, get themselves the Void Grubs, but it does mean your AD carry is in an awkward position. So Venomcrest did a good job of catching them out, getting another tower play onto their Kai'Sa. Now 2 kills for their jungler, 2 kills onto their AD carry as well. And this gold lead we saw for Nativz in the jungle has kind of shrunk a bit from this double kill in the bot side.
And Hybradge now has a timer to just check out the Venomcrest jungle. Not going to be able to find anything. Wanted some free raptors for himself to extend that lead, but won't be able to find anything. Lenny now back, has the Merc threads completed, as well as the Negatron cloak. Is that what it's called? The second...
Yes, it is the Negatron cloak. The reason he's done this is just wants to build as much magic resist as fast as possible. Has that sheen to help with the damage. You saw it almost 1v1 Theoloris earlier on into this game, but he does need to be careful here. He doesn't know Simpy is here, trying to hover around, trying to find that ward placement down, but not knowing that he was there, is going to be able to place that ward, get himself out to safety. As Nativz, this game compared to last are in a much better standing. Remember, Venomcrest are 4-1 compared to Nativz, they're 1-4, and my god, this is a better look from them.
Yeah, the map rotations coming out of Nativz a lot more. They're playing a lot more together, and they're playing a lot towards this top side. As now 4 members of Venomcrest looking on towards space, catching him out the side lane. Kaisa going in with the killer instinct, isn't going to be able to get out alive. They're going to give that kill over to Fierce, try to get him back in this bot lane. Baul going to be caught out in that bot side jungle. Hybradge here to cover him away, but there goes the Vial to lock him down, and Baul going to have to bop the Magnet Storm. It isn't going to get out of this with a life, but Painful with the Fate Unsealed on top of 3. What a huge bait coming in from the native side to catch them on. And Painful trying to get as much as he can here. He couldn't get Fierce though, so in the end it is an advantage over towards Venomcrest.
And that's a double kill. We saw he reached just level 11 at the end of that, allowing Corky to stay alive. But it's just huge mistakes from Nativz. You have your AD carry going down towards the bot lane, all on his own. You know that this isn't your strongest side of the map. You see how many wards are littered by Venomcrest, making sure this AD carry can't play him, because he went too early on. Hybradge and Baul aren't there. If they waited another 5 seconds, he would have been completely fine. And then trying to turn a fight when you're 3 versus 4, it just isn't a good play.
Space just dodging the W off that Kaisa. They're not going to be able to hit the empowered arrow back. But yeah, they know, Venomcrest are very aware that they need to get this bot side back into the game because of how the top side is going. So just going 4-man bot to try catch out the Varus to get the kill onto Fierce, but then they, you know, Nativz overstay in that bot side jungle and they give over more than they wanted. Lenny now potentially caught out in this top side once again.
Yeah, going to go for the play. Baul going for engage onto Theoloris, but he just can't escape. There's just nothing you can do when you have a Rumble sitting on your face. And while this was happening, will be that Rift held as well over to the side of Nativz, as the second dragon will get secure from Venomcrest. So a good lead up towards the top side. Has a 2.8k gold lead. And this is, you know, slightly different from the last time we saw this matchup for Theoloris.
Yeah, it's completely flipped on its head. And like you said, second Drake going over to Venomcrest. They're trying to stack those early on to potentially get the soul. And Nativz gonna trade for the top side, have the 6 grubs, have the Herald, so they're going to be focusing on that tower damage, trying to push towards that late when they try to start pushing these towers in this late game. And now gonna see 4 members of Nativz grouping up in mid. They have Lingard here as well to try cover this bot side. The W gotta hit space and won't stop the recall of Baul. Theo very aware though, and is going to take these raptors. They're looking for something over the wall. Space now out of position. Ball breaker on top of the Rumble. Teleport coming in to try count this out. It's just going to be the Vial traded back, and Nativz can fight into this Fierce. Caught out with the stun, but the Hybradge getting locked out. But a beautiful Fate Unsealed coming in from Painful on top of 3, and Venomcrest are running for the hills.
Running from the hills again themselves, the Rift Hell placed as well. Nativz doing an incredible job of stopping that big engage. The thing that Venomcrest didn't think about is the double teleport coming out from the Nativz lineup. Yes, it looks good to try and kill Theoloris early on, but he could just flash further into the towers, so then Fierce and Lingard couldn't go in, otherwise they instantly die. So of course Venomcrest lose now in that fight, and Nativz now with a huge gold lead yet again. 600 in the mid lane, 300 in the jungle, but most importantly Theoloris picking up another kill, being 4-1, now has a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, already has 2 items completed on this Rumble at 6 to 17 minutes into the game. Now TP top to try get the shutdown off of him. Fierce here. Kill's probably going to go over to Fierce. No, they're actually going to give it to the Cassante. Try to shore him up as we move towards this late game. And yeah, just a little bit overstep from Theo. 350 gold shutdown will go over, but not the end of the world.
It could have been a possibility for Yone to get this bot lane tower, but not knowing where that enemy jungler was on the ward just yet, is only going to be able to start hitting it now. So yes, a good play from Venomcrest will get themselves that kill and make that lead that Theoloris has. Not as strong as it was before as level 11. Will get ticked over from this Kai'Sa, who is looking pretty scary. You said about 2 items for Theoloris, that's exactly the same for this Kai'Sa. So if they can get a team fight where they're firing, Venomcrest is still in a very big chance of winning these team fights.
Now Venomcrest's gonna have free reign in this Nativz topside camps, as that kill onto Theo means that they can just have that little bit more pressure. Mid tower is now gonna look to be taken by Venomcrest. They are pinging towards it, but they're just gonna leave it. They don't even need to take it tower.
Exactly. 2 members are coming up by Nativz, of course. Not going to be able to take the tower just yet. Major objectives up in 2 minutes, so I do expect both of these teams to be putting priority towards then. It will be sole point if Venomcrest can pick up the second dragon. We're expecting Corki to try and finish that second item before this, as it really feels like Nativz, if they have a member they want to get on, it is going to be that Kai'Sa. As if that champion's dead, Nativz will win this fight, but if that champion's able to free fire during the whole fight, it will look pretty good from this Venomcrest side. So Nativz hoping to get some wards in pretty soon.
Yeah, and the vision from Venomcrest has been so good. They've just been they've been doing really good at rotating themselves around the map, always moving in a group and setting up these vision lines in Nativz jungle, making sure that it's just a little bit hard for Nativz to be able to play the game, because they can so easily get caught out. It also just covers off their side lanes, because they usually have vision of at least 4 of the 5 Nativz members. As like you said, objective now up, Drake up in 50 seconds. So Venomcrest wanting to stack these Drakes as early as possible, going to be getting set up for it, but they are going to give it up. They don't have the positioning for it just yet. Corki coming out of base now.
Yeah, a little bit of a bad time coming out for Fierce. Not having that teleport available and not being with the team means that Venomcrest have to completely give up this vision, allowing Nativz to walk in and have that priority. And it's going to be really awkward to play, as they have to go through the front line to get towards the back line for every single member of their team. So we'll have to see if they can find this positioning in, especially when Painful is going to be spoiled out towards the bot sides. There might be a chance if Venomcrest want to make this play happen, or just want to wait this out and allow their jungler or their top laner to get some tower plates.
Painful's rotating up. There was a potential look for an engage there from Nativz, but they weren't too sure on it. And now Painful spotted on that ward. Means that Venomcrest know where all of these are, but the TP coming in from behind. Theo trying to get onto the back line here. Big ultimate followed up by the Fate Sealed. Nativz have just done in Venomcrest. Theo gonna get caught out. But
yeah, we did spot the wards at the end.
Yeah, they're just going to be able to catch out the Vi at the end of it, and now the stacking Drake's strategy that Venomcrest are going for is going to take that just that little bit longer.
Yeah, that's a really good play for Nativz. I actually didn't see the ward in the back line, but that teleport coming out from Theoloris, getting a 3-man ultimate on top of that, getting themselves 3 members on the side of Venomcrest, but most importantly, that jungler, allowing them to start up this dragon, and it just shouldn't get contested from Venomcrest. And Nativz, being on these comfort picks, being on these champions, which they know how to play, it's paying dividends, as now there should be a free Baron over to them.
And the big thing is that Theo went to topside to stop Lenny from taking that tier 2, pushed him off the tower, and then instantly TP'd to that fight to start it off. And Lenny was in no man's land. He wasn't even. I think he was in topside river when that fight started about around the Drake. So great play from Theo as well to just use that advantage that he has in gold to just push out Lenny and then TP into that fight.
Yeah, and even at the end of that, you saw that he split that fight up, making sure that the Kai'Sa and the Rakan were together, but not with the rest of the team. So they could only fire onto one member who already had Seeker's arm guard, so can go into Zhonya's, and just can't play that game. So Nativz, with this ban available, will have Theoloris up towards the top side, clearing out these waves, making sure that Venomcrest have no response, while the other side will push out the mid, push out the bot lane, and I expect them to maybe look for these 2 bot lane towers by clearing out this vision as well.
And Nativz just not even Venomcrest were hoping that somebody would walk up to try to take that top wave and push in that top side, but all of Nativz grouped up towards this bottom half of the map means that all 4 members of Venomcrest who have been sitting there in that topside jungle just wasting about 40 seconds now have to base and walk out. But Nativz have pushed up the waves on this bot side and now have these baroned up minions on 2 waves trying to take out these tier 2s.
And they got complete vision over the jungle because they were towards the top side. Nativz could just walk in for free, gain themselves the vision, and now we can see how useful this is. They can just keep pushing in a wave towards the mid, wave towards the bot lane as well. If they have gone for the 4-1 setup of Theoloris, if they stay down here too long, all 5 members, they can just easily push out these waves.
Yeah, Theo now rotating over, has the ultimate available if Venomcrest decide to try to fight into this, but they are just going to stop the wave from hitting that tier 2. They're not going to try play into them, just going to wait for this Baron buff to disappear.
It is a little bit awkward from the Nativz lineup because they have a wave coming towards the bot side now, but their mid wave is nowhere near pushing it in. So there's plenty of time for Venomcrest to come down bot, clear this wave, go towards the mid lane, and clear that wave as well.
And a nasty double knockup by the Cassante opens Nativz up, but the Magnet Storm from the Rel keeping Venomcrest where they don't want to be. A double Fate Sealed coming out for Painful, but it's just going to be an even trade. Baul and Theoloris, last 2 remaining for Nativz, and Theoloris trying to go for the MVP this game. Will get stunned underneath the tower, but should be able to kill out Lenny and potentially even Lingard as well. Will fall in the end, but Baul doesn't want to let him live, and he will take him down.
I told you that supportal combat is a thing, and that clearly shows it. The only really upsetting thing is at the end there. Did you see that it was the top laner, Theoloris, tanking that tower? If Baul was able to tank that instead, they would have been able to pick up all of those kills, but really well played by Nativz to turn that around as Venomcrest found the engage onto Painful, burst him out straight away in that fight. But then, of course, when Theoloris is opening up with 3 items to his name, he can just burn you through using the Sonias, uses so much stuff to give himself the space to find themselves a kill, as they will be able to pick up that bot lane tower, and Nativz getting themselves over 7,000 gold lead after that play.
Yeah, that Baron power play coming in clutch for Nativz, getting them so much. And although Venomcrest will keep their bot tier 2, it's going to be up to 9 kills now for Theoloris, who has been doing insane work on this Rumble this game. And in the meantime as well, we're like, the gap between the Kaisa and the Varus is not even that much. It's only 600 gold. You would think it'd be more because this Kaisa has been doing a good bit in this game, but only on 2 items, and they're pretty even.
Yeah, Kaisa is on the on-hit variance. The longer the game goes, they will be outscaling that Varus. But Varus, 2.5 items into the game, not going to feel bad at all. Teleport available for Theoloris. We do expect the side of Nativz to try and contest this dragon. While Venomcrest, they only have a 1 for Nativz. They could instead opt to go towards the top side, try and get them more gold in towards their pocket. As their big issue is now, they have to one-shot Theoloris, but if that happens, Painful's still open. You still have space as well, and it's really hard to try and deal with these triple threat comps when you have so much damage and not a lot of answers for it.
Yeah, and Nativz now rotating down, gonna be able to take their 2nd Drake of the game, and stacking Infernal Drakes with a team that already has this much damage is definitely not gonna help Venomcrest in the long run.
I still want to see Nativz go for the play towards the bot lane tower. You know what they did again with the Bound? Just do it without it. Set up by pushing out this mid wave, pushing out bot lane yet again, and look for that outer tower. And then after that, you can start opting for your vision towards the top side instead. Get yourself that Baron, as I feel like Nativz are in the driver's seat. They can easily win this game if they take it step by step, and I feel like they really have the confidence to do so. Especially, you know, when you have a 3 item, you know, Yone in the mid lane, kind of makes life a little bit easier as well.
As now everyone coming off of base, getting their resets off. We can see the Scante just a little bit late on his, but we'll be going back now to potentially get, I think, probably just some more components. I don't think he shouldn't have enough gold for another item. But on the opposite side, we look at this Rumble. Almost finished a Rabadon's. Probably a couple hundred gold away from that. 26 minutes in, almost on 4 items. This Rumble is going to hit hard in a couple of minutes. Already does, but is going to hit even harder. And Venomcrest starting to group up, trying to see if they can find something back over towards this native side, as Baron now coming back up. Venomcrest need to be very careful. Now, luckily, there's 2 members of Native spotted on that bot side, so they know it's not going to be any sort of Baron rush. But this tower very low on HP. Painful looking to see if he can finish it off. Theoloris is here to back him up, and Fierce's health bar gets deleted. TP in response to try cover them off, with the ultimate down from the Rumble. Lingard's getting burned down by the Rumble. So is the Vi. Baul here now to support at the flash and the Vault Breaker to get away. But a double for Theoloris for a kill back onto Painful.
Heltic, do you know what they just did there? They played the vision game to perfection. What Nativz did is they had Painful going up earlier on, making it seem like he was solo in that lane, but Theoloris was constantly hiding on the edge of vision, making sure he wasn't spotted out. And that's why Fierce died, because he didn't know that Theoloris was there. So of course they could change that fight around, get themselves that Baron, and this is the expectations I have for this team, is these new, these inventive ways to play, but they do need to be careful as the enemy jungler is here and can try and steal this Baron.
Yeah, Theo doesn't have his ult just yet. Will be able to potentially drop it over the wall. Baron now down to 6,000 HP. They're going to go over the wall, though. They're not even looking for the fight. Huge Magnet Storm on top of 3. TP now coming in from Painful. Has the Fate Sealed available to go over the wall, followed up by the Rumble ulti. And now Painful got to get his kills back, but Baul got to be caught out and will be sacrificed. But it doesn't matter. Nativz dealing so much damage, and the Baron going to go over to them.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy, but works out from the Nativz roster, knowing that they have to kill the jungler before the Baron will get taken out. Painful with a 2-man ultimate to secure 2 kills to them. Lenny and Theo are going to get taken out. Resets will be coming through, and with the second Baron in hand, I expect to try and open up this base. So when we look at these items, 3 onto space, 3 onto their AD carry, or sorry, towards their mid laner as well. But look at this top lane of Theoloris, easily the MVP of this game so far. 11, 3, and 8. 4 items to his name. This person can almost 1v5 these team fights, it feels.
Oh, definitely sure. He's now up to 11 kills now. Has that Rabadon's death cap finished. He's going to hit like a truck, and he already has been so far in this game. But if you've been, we've seen how quickly he can delete Fierce's health bar if they get caught. Simply gonna get caught out now. Do they have enough CC to keep him down? Fate Sealed's committed to get the kill onto the Rakan, and now with a lot of engage taken away from Venomcrest for the next 30 seconds, it means that the siege is going to be that little bit easier for Nativz.
Yeah, going to be a lot easier for them as they have Painful in the mid lane, making sure that he keeps pushing out this wave. But who can try and stop this? The only wave clear they have is Fierce. Lingard can do a little bit, but isn't able to start up these waves, and 2 cannon minions hitting this tower. If they just keep it like this, Nativz are going to be cracking open this base.
Yeah, Painful just sitting on the edge, keeping those minions empowered. And in the meantime, like you said, those double cannons topside doing a lot of damage to this tower. Another wave now coming in, but Simpy is back alive, so they can try to look for something here. Nativz has been chunked out, and meanwhile, Venomcrest's health bar is looking pretty healthy. But Baul actually going to be the one to go for the engage. Magnet Storm down on top of 3, followed up. Fate Sealed not available just yet. Now coming up online, not even going to need it. Gotta catch the final 2, and Nativz can look to end here.
Yeah, Nativz, I think they've done it. I think they've taken out Venomcrest, the first seeded team with Ruddy in a stylish fashion. And Theoloris, what a game this player has had, having himself over 20 kills in this game with over a 10,000 gold lead. And this feels like the rebirth of Nativz.
Yeah, a 7.5k on Theoloris on top side, 12, 3, and 8. What a great game from him. And wow, what a game for us to win.
Ah, it feels so good. It feels good, you know. I came in here, I was sad. I was like, guys, I love Nativz. Just please do something. I literally said before cast, I think we're gonna lose, and I'm happy to apologize. Nativz, I'm proud of you. Good job here.
I was about to take a shot of copium, but like, you know, it just went so well. We finally brought it home, and I'm so happy with the results. We finally showed that we have the potential to be a great team and a team that people look I didn't think they're gonna be in EMEA Masters one day. Because we are. We have the potential to be there.
Yeah, completely. There was a little bit of sloppiness here and there, but that's of course expected from a team that is still trying to find their footing. But I just keep thinking back to the play they did towards the bot side, having their mid laner go a little bit further than their top laner and just hovering it, and having that sort of play around vision is only really going to happen when you have the confidence in both of those players. So it feels like Nativz today really felt like they've built something.
Yeah, I honestly, we seen when they played the Rumble into Cassante last time, like we were talking about, it looked like they just did not have that matchup down, and we talked about it with them in the post game for that, saying, you know, you look like your top side was a bit weak, and they were like, yeah, we're trying to shore up that top side. And in the following game, they did a better job of playing towards top side against Blue Whites, and it worked out. And now it seems like, yeah, they have a lot of faith in Theo. They're giving him support, and he's just able to win. Like, he's just able to show what the power of Rumble is into this Cassante.
Yes, it turns out it wasn't a matter of Rumble not being a good match against Xante. Well, it was a matter of having support.
100%. Support is the aim of the game for this team, as once they had support towards the mid lane, because remember, we found that kill early on for Painful, and then they're able to snowball it to find a semi-decent lead. But it kind of kept this Corki in a box, and then same with the jungle. Jungle was even, or even ahead, 500 gold lead mostly through the game. Kept them in a box, always able to read their plays. And when you think about how many ganks did Vi had top lane? None. How many ganks did their support have top lane? We can't even say one. It was like, I come say hi. And this really is what the whole team did to allow Theoloris to find that big lead, have that isolated plays. And when he did have some difficulty going one kill down, they were easily able to go up there, find himself that first kill, and allow him to have the matchup he wanted.
Yeah, and even the I can't remember what I was going to say now. I had something. We seen Jungle as well. Like, Jungle was doing a great job of just making sure to catch up on those top side. Like, we've seen those top lane ganks twice, just catching them out and getting onto the Cassante, getting Theo ahead. And then as we moved towards the mid game, you know, we saw Venomcrest like know that they needed to try get the Corki out of that hole and get that goal back onto the or against the Yone. But it didn't matter in the end. Like, even the big gold swing they had, where they caught us out in the bot side jungle, didn't really matter at the end of the day, because Theo just started roaming, and then it made the game a lot harder for Venomcrest.
Theo just that was like the massacre again, but this time it was on our side, like doing the massacre on the other team. It was great to see. And we actually have Hybradge or Jungle joining us for a quick interview. Hello, Hybradge.
Hey, how are you going?
Oh, good. How are you after this beautiful win?
I'm very happy, very ecstatic.
I can imagine.
All I'm saying is, on Twitter, I said, I will never lose when there's a double Whopper Wednesday. And what happened? Whopper Wednesday, I'm undefeated on Whopper Wednesday, boys. Boys and girls, I'm undefeated.
Okay. So it wasn't like, go on.
Sorry, just Whopper Wednesday. Just do you have a ritual? Because we got told behind the scenes that there have been some ritual changes to do with Nativz to get you guys ready for these games. Did you just have a Whopper Wednesday by the side, and you could only have it if you won?
No, I had it before. Come on.
Oh.
To give him energy, come on.
Yeah, come on. I have to have some food. No, I had 2 Whoppers though, so I knew I was definitely going to win. If I had only 1 Whopper, because you know how sometimes if you don't log into the account, you can just use the discount code twice on 2 different machines. So that's what I did. I went to Burger King, got 1 Whopper on one machine, then went right next to the one next to it. Told the people in line, "Yo, wait up, boys, I need to get my Whopper."
But who likes Burger King? Like, out of everybody I've talked to, people are like, okay, McDonald's is mid. There's other stuff as well, but you're saying the Burger King is the go.
Because in Australia, we don't have Burger King. We've got Hungry Jack's, which is the equivalent, and they've got Whoppers there, so it tastes similar. So it reminds me of Australia. But you guys don't have cheese over here. I don't know what's going on in the UK. That needs to be fixed immediately. But no worries.
What do you mean we don't have cheese?
You guys don't have cheese on your Whoppers. There's no cheese.
Just add it yourself.
Just ask for cheese.
You're gonna pay for it, guys.
All right, guys.
It's our
But,
rookie
like
split. We don't have that money.
leaving the burgers aside and talking about the game, what changed except for like the double whopper you just had? What changed for this game to be so brilliant?
I think I was on a champion. Like this is, I mean, Volibear is one of my champions, right? Like everyone says Bell with one trick. Okay, stop saying that. It's not funny, guys. I see that being spammed in Twitch chat. Not funny. Like Belva, Volibear, Kindred, Viego, like those were my 4 champions, right? Pretty much, and Wukong, right? So it was those 5, and there hasn't really been an angle, like ever, because today they decided to ban out all the junglers that I didn't want to play anyway. I was getting forced to play as. Nah, I'm kidding. I didn't want to play as junglers anyway, but they banned it. So Dan was like, he was like, oh, what do you reckon's good here? Because there weren't many junglers left. So I was like, Nocturne or Volibear. And I said, but if you give me Volibear, I can start rolling. I can start rolling these people early. And then he was like, okay, go Volibear. So I was like, when I wanted to do my full clear, I was like, I was kind of bored, so I was like, let's run mid and see if this guy respects me. But he didn't flash right away, so we just got him quickly, right? And once we got the ball rolling, mid and top, they just started like, I feel like they're getting, I don't know, I think they maybe underestimated us a bit. Like some of the palvings this Vi took were pretty illegal. I mean, the police might be at his house right now, I can't lie, but yeah. So we punished him like very hard, right? And I knew once I got Tio a lead on Rumble, he's shown like the ability to carry. So it's just trusting Tio and Painful and just like dumping all the eggs in those two, like the 2 baskets there. And they just did, yeah. They carried.
Yeah, really good job. I have to say, this was such a different look from what we've seen beforehand. So, of course, we saw you played it Ivan yesterday. We saw, of course, your support picking up an Enchanter as well. It feels good to see you guys have something that's a little bit more proactive. So, do you think going further forward, you're going to be able to pick the champions like the Nocturne and stuff like the Volibear that you really want to play?
It's hard to say, right? Because I think okay, maybe after today, then we'll be like, okay, mate, we'll give you your Volibear. We'll give you maybe not Belveth yet, but we'll give you your champions. But I also think it was just like a matchup because I played this player like multiple times. Right? I played this Vi. I know I had a lot more confidence going in. Otherwise, I wouldn't really pick Volibear because it's a champion where you really have to start getting going early, right? And I think I'm just all around more confident now. Now I've got some games under my belt. I know we've lost like heaps of them, right? We lost 4 of them, but I still gives me like a bit of confidence just playing there, getting the reps in. So I was just a bit more confident today. And probably yes, but I couldn't guarantee you, right? It would depend on what our team picks as well. Like the Yone pick today was not talked about at all, by the way, and the Volibear pick was not talked about at all. But we just winged it. So.
I mean, it works out. I feel like you guys need to wing it more. Burger flip your way to the playoffs, and then I will make a statement. I'll try my best to help you get that Belveth.
Okay, you promise?
I can't promise, but I will try. I will.
Okay.
I will
promise to try our best. You promise to try our best.
I'll talk to upper management.
Okay, cheers. Perfect. Perfect. Sweet.
Heltic, do you have any questions for Hybradge before we wrap this up?
I think I'm all right. I was just like obviously like taking down a team like Venomcrest, especially when yous are, they were tied first, being 4-1, and yous were 1-4. Now yous are 2-4. Yous have the potential to go 4-4 and make playoffs. Is that something yous are looking at?
We'll definitely look at making playoffs, right? But I've kind of the mentality I had going into today was it was kind of a make or break game because I knew that if we won this game, we'd still be positioned to, as long as we win like the DMG game next week, which I think they're very good actually. I think they're very good, but they're very underrated. I mean, but I feel like it's a very beatable team. Like it's more beatable than Ruddy. I think Ruddy was beatable as well, but no, I'll just leave it at there actually. So I think DMG is a very beatable team. So if we go 3-4 this round robin, all we have to do next round robin, if you think about it, is not lose more than we win. All we have to do is win one more game than we lose, and we're into the playoffs most likely, right? So that's the way I was seeing it, and yeah, I think we made it, didn't we? So hopefully we get the ball rolling even harder.
I believe you guys can keep doing it. We can keep bringing wins home
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, is going to be a good effort, as Lisa has, of course, left us again
And
today.
Hybradge, thank you so much.
Oh, her internet's gone, boy.
Yes, Lisa, hello. Irish internet, we back.
Oops,
worry,
I'm
guys.
sorry. I'm back, Hybradge. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And congrats again on the win. Before we wrap this up, just a special thanks to Ireland Esports Collegiate Series powered by Nativz, providing esports competitions for students in Ireland. You can find more information under comment IECS. We also have our sponsors, Oxen. They sell the items of our official Nativz merch, and it's available on their website under comment Oxen. We also have Allotment, our official purpose partner, acting to preserve the coral reefs of Koh Tai, Thailand, and support the local communities under comment Allotment. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you. Actually, I won't see you, but you will be here next week for our next games, and good luck for Nativz.